Number 1, feeling invisible. Let me guess. Lately, you've been feeling invisible. No matter how much good you pour into the world, it seems to go unnoticed. You watch others rise, succeed, get chosen, while you remain quiet, overlooked, left behind. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're ungrateful. You're just tired. Tired of wondering when it will finally be your turn. But what if I told you, you were never forgotten? What if Allah has been hiding you, not to punish you, but to prepare you for something far greater than you could ever imagine? Because sometimes the strongest souls are the ones He keeps in the shadows the longest. You keep feeling like you're not enough, but maybe Allah is protecting you from settling for something far less than you deserve. You scroll through your feed, seeing faces full of smiles, lives bursting with love and success, and you wonder, why does my heart still feel so incomplete? You question yourself over and over. You glance at your reflection and feel something missing. It hurts, and the worst part is, you can't even explain it. But maybe, just maybe, that emptiness you feel was placed inside you by Allah, not to harm you, but to shield you. Because if you felt enough in the wrong place, you might have stayed. You might have accepted a life, a career, or a relationship that would have quietly drained your soul. So Allah allowed you to feel the sting of not enough. He let you feel like an outsider, lost and disconnected, because He didn't want you to attach yourself to what was never meant for you. He wanted your growth, not sideways, not backwards, but upward. And that kind of growth demands silence. It demands loneliness. It demands the feeling of being forgotten by the world, while being lovingly built by Allah. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are being remade, one for something that will not break your heart when it finally arrives. So the next time you whisper, "I'm not enough," tell yourself instead, "I'm still becoming the version of me who refuses to settle for less than what Allah has written." Because one day when you finally step into what is truly yours, you'll look back at this pain and say, "Ya Allah, thank you for not letting me settle for less than my true worth." Number 2, breaking and healing. Every time you heal a little, something else seems to break. But what if that's not a sign of failure? What if that's Allah awakening the strongest version of you? You start to feel a little better, you smile, you breathe, you sleep deeper. And then out of nowhere, another heartbreak, another disappointment, another test. And you sit there, exhausted, wondering, why can't I catch a break? Why does healing feel so fragile? It feels like a never-ending cycle. Fix one thing, watch another unravel. It's draining. It's heartbreaking. But what if every crack in your heart is not your undoing, but your awakening? Because there are some strengths hidden deep within you, strengths that can only be revealed when something inside you shatters first. Maybe Allah is calling forth a version of you that is more patient, more grateful, more deeply connected to Him than you have ever been. You weren't made for comfort. You were made for growth. And real growth, it's not gentle. It's silent, slow, and often feels like breaking at first. The truth is, you don't become stronger by getting what you want. You become stronger by surviving what you never thought you could endure. Right now, that quiet strength is growing inside you. Not the strength people applaud, but the kind Allah alone witnesses. It's built in your whispered prayers, in your private tears, in your silent perseverance, in every Alhamdulillah you say even with a heavy heart. You're not just healing, you're transforming. And yes, healing doesn't follow a straight line. It often feels like breaking apart 100 times. But each time something within you falls away, Allah is replacing it with something eternal. So keep walking, even if your steps are small, even if your hands tremble. Because one day you'll look back and realize, those breakdowns weren't setbacks. They were sacred awakenings. And you didn't just survive them, you became unshakable because of them. Number 3, being misunderstood. You often feel misunderstood, don't you? Because your light isn't meant to shine loudly, it's meant to glow quietly. You try to live with kindness, you speak from the heart, you stay away from drama, choosing peace wherever you go. Yet somehow, people still misinterpret your silence. They twist your intentions. They see a version of you that isn't real. After a while, it starts to hurt. Not because you crave attention, but because you wish to be seen for who you truly are. It's not the praise you long for. It's the pain of being misunderstood that weighs on you. You wonder, why do people always get me wrong? Why do they assume the worst even when I stay silent? But maybe this pain isn't a sign that something is broken in you. Maybe it's a sign that your soul is simply too rare for most to recognize. Some hearts are so soft, so pure, so sincere, that a noisy, hardened world simply cannot comprehend them. You weren't created to be loud. You weren't made to perform or to explain yourself over and over just to be accepted. You were created to shine quietly, to love deeply, and to walk humbly. And sometimes your light will only be visible to those whose eyes aren't clouded by ego, jealousy, or judgment. Even the most beloved souls were misunderstood. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was called a liar before he was honored as a prophet. Yusuf, peace be upon him, was accused before he was elevated. Maryam, peace be upon her, was slandered before she was praised. Every soul chosen by Allah was, at first, misunderstood by the world. So why would your path be any different? If your heart feels lonely, it's not because you're lost. It's because you are exactly where Allah needs you to be. He's teaching you not to crave validation, not to chase applause, not to beg to be understood. Because the one who shaped your heart understands it better than anyone ever could. And when Allah knows your worth, it truly doesn't matter who else does. So don't dim your light to make others comfortable. Don't silence your sincerity just because it unsettles them. You weren't sent here to be understood by everyone. You were sent here to live your truth and let Allah take care of the rest. One day, those who misjudged you will look at how far you've come and say, "We never really knew who they were." But Allah did, and that will be more than enough. Number 4, feeling stuck but growing. You feel like you've been standing still for years. The same home, the same job, the same routines, the same ache. While others move forward, marrying, relocating, achieving, you're still here, waiting, wondering, why does nothing change for me? Why am I stuck no matter how hard I try? And slowly that heavy doubt creeps in. The fear that maybe life skipped over you, that maybe Allah has forgotten you. But here's what you don't realize yet. This place where you feel invisible, this stretch of sameness, it might actually be sacred ground. Because some of the deepest transformations don't happen in new places. They happen when everything around you stays the same, but everything inside you changes. What if this delay isn't a punishment, but a divine test? So crucial that Allah won't allow you to move until you pass it. What if there's a healing, a strength, a wisdom that can only be born right here, in the quiet, in the waiting, in the discomfort? Your surroundings may feel small, but your patience is growing something massive inside you, something eternal. Some people travel the world and still feel lost. You might stay rooted in one place for years and still journey closer and closer to Allah. It's not about changing locations. It's about allowing Allah to change you. Maybe your reward isn't somewhere else. Maybe it's buried right where you are, hidden just beneath the surface, waiting for your heart to uncover it. Sometimes Allah hides the treasure inside the pain. Sometimes the turning point is tucked inside the waiting. You are not stuck. You are being anchored. And one day when your soul is ready, Allah will move you effortlessly. Doors will open so easily you'll cry in awe. But until that day comes, remember this. Just because your feet haven't moved doesn't mean your soul hasn't grown wings. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are exactly where Allah needs you to be for your soul to rise. Number 5, the pain of starting over. You build your life piece by piece, hope by hope, dua by dua. You finally start to breathe again, to feel safe. And then it crumbles. The plan falls apart. The job ends. The relationship shatters. The dream you were so close to slips away overnight. And in the silence, your heart whispers, "Ya Allah, how many times must I start over?" You feel worn down by the endless beginnings. You're tired of rebuilding from the ruins. You just want something, anything, and to stay. But what if Allah isn't being harsh with you? What if He's being careful? What if He keeps resetting your life, not because you're failing, but because He's protecting your final chapter? Because sometimes what we're so desperate to hold on to is not fit for the end of our story. Sometimes Allah tears down what you're building, only to rebuild it with foundations so strong it could withstand any storm. He's not taking things from you. He's removing what was never meant to stay. Trust the resets. Trust the pauses. Trust that every time your life falls apart, it's Allah crafting something you can't yet see. Something built with divine hands. Number 6, Allah's reset is protection. Allah sees the end from the moment your soul returns to Him, pure and whole. And sometimes the people you cherish now can't walk with you all the way there. Sometimes the habits you cling to now would poison the blessings Allah intends for you later. So what does He do? He resets your life. He removes what would have destroyed you, even if you loved it, even if you begged to keep it. Because Allah's goal isn't just your short-term happiness, it's your eternal safety. That's why endings come suddenly. That's why things collapse after so much effort. That's why you're left wondering how something you held on to so tightly slipped through your fingers. But the truth is, holding on to the wrong thing is sometimes far more dangerous than having nothing at all. Maybe you were on the verge of settling for a life that would have stolen your purpose. And Allah, in His infinite mercy, did what only He could do. He took it from you, not to leave you empty, but to make room for something that would never abandon you later. Every reset you've experienced was never a rejection of your dua. It was a redirection toward your true destiny. So even if your heart feels tired, even if your hands are trembling from starting over once again, know this: each time Allah resets your life, He's ensuring that what awaits you at the end will be permanent, pure, and heartbreak-proof. Keep rebuilding, but this time, don't rush the process. Trust the one who already wrote your ending, and wrote it beautifully. Number 7, when kindness hurts. Your kindness sometimes feels like a curse. You give even when it's inconvenient. You forgive even when it still stings. You stay silent to protect others' dignity, even when they never protected yours. And deep down you wonder, is my kindness a weakness? Is it why I keep getting hurt? Because every time you choose gentleness, someone uses it. Every time you hope to be appreciated, you're overlooked. Every time you trust, you bleed a little more. But maybe this pain isn't a punishment. Maybe it's a process. What if Allah is allowing your kindness to hurt so it can evolve into power? Not the kind of power that hardens you, but the kind of power that teaches you to give without breaking. Pure hearts don't become powerful by staying untouched. They become powerful by learning how to stand tall, even after being broken 100 times. Allah sees the moments no one else does. The way you lower your voice when angry. The way you swallow your pain to shield others. The way you cry quietly so no one feels guilty for hurting you. He's not ignoring your struggle. He's using it to shape something unshakable inside you. You're not weak for being soft. You're not foolish for forgiving. You are being trained to love the way Allah loves, with wisdom, with strength, with beauty. One day you will give again, but from a place of wisdom. One day you will help again, but with a heart armored by experience. One day you will still be kind, but no one will be able to break you for it. The hurt you feel now is forging the shield you'll carry later. This isn't the death of your kindness, it's the evolution of it. So if your kindness feels like a curse right now, remember, Allah isn't trying to take away your purity. He's teaching you how to protect it. Number 8, when dreams fade. You had a dream, a vision that made you feel alive, something you prayed for every night, something you held on to every morning when everything else felt dull. And now, it's fading. Maybe it's already gone. You did everything right. You prayed, you worked hard, you stayed patient. Yet somehow the dream still slipped away, quiet and unexplained. And you're left wondering, why would Allah give me the desire, but not the outcome? But maybe He did answer you. just not in the way you expected. Maybe he took the dream away to protect you, not from failure, but from becoming someone you were never meant to be. Because not every dream brings peace, not every success brings joy, not every goal leads to wholeness. Sometimes Allah lets the dream fade, to write you a story without regrets. You think you lost time, but maybe you only lost the illusion of a future that wasn't good for your soul. You think you failed, but maybe you simply outgrew something that was never meant to carry your heart. Yes, it hurts to let go of something you once believed in with all your heart, but it would hurt even more to spend your life clinging to something that was never truly yours. Allah doesn't remove dreams because you aren't worthy. He removes them because you are worthy of something far greater. Sometimes it feels like the dream you loved is dying, but Allah is simply unfolding your true story. You see an ending. Allah sees a new beginning. The dream you thought you needed might have demanded you to shrink, to settle, to suffer quietly. But Allah is writing a life for you that won't ask you to betray yourself just to belong. One day you'll look back and say, I thought I lost everything, but this life Allah gave me instead was everything I didn't even know I needed. Your dream didn't die, it transformed. It turned from something you wanted into something you'll one day be deeply grateful you didn't get. The plan you made was built on what you knew, but the life Allah is crafting for you is based on what only He knows, and He knows the version of you who will live with no regrets. Number 9, when silence becomes strength. You've been quiet for so long. You tucked away your feelings. You swallowed your opinions. You carried your pain silently, tucked deep inside your chest, because either no one asked how you were, or when they did, you didn't believe they'd understand. Now silence has become part of you. It's not that you have nothing to say, it's that you've learned to protect your voice, because every time you spoke before, it was either ignored or twisted against you. So you stopped speaking. You stopped expecting to be heard. But what if I told you? Your silence was never a sign that you didn't matter. Your voice was being protected by Allah, preserved for a moment far greater than anything you could imagine. Your voice holds power, not because it is loud, but because it holds truth. And truth, if spoken at the wrong time or to the wrong people, can be wasted or weaponized. So Allah hid it, not to silence you forever, but to save your words for a moment when they would truly matter. That moment may not be dramatic. It may not go viral. It may not come with applause, but it will be divinely timed. When Allah decides it's your moment to speak, you won't need to shout. You won't need to explain yourself 100 times. You'll say a few words, and hearts will shift. Souls will soften, doors will open, your voice will carry weight, because it was carried through silence, through pain, through patience. Sometimes the ones who are quiet the longest are the ones Allah uses most powerfully. If you feel overlooked, if you feel your voice is locked inside you, know this: Allah never wastes your silence. He sharpens your message. He purifies your heart. He builds your sincerity. When your moment comes, it won't just be you speaking. It will be Allah placing the right words on your tongue at the exact moment they're meant to be heard. And that is not just speech. That's purpose. So wait, not with frustration, but with faith. Your silence is not your weakness. It is the sacred space where Allah is preparing your soul for impact. When the time is right, your voice will not just be heard. It will touch the hearts it was meant to reach. If you've been hidden, if you feel like life has passed you by, remember, Allah doesn't hide what's worthless. He hides what's precious. He hides what He's still preparing. And when He brings you out of the shadows, it won't be to simply be seen. It will be to finally step into what was always yours. Until then, stay patient, stay sincere, stay close to Him. Because what's coming will make you fall into sujood and whisper, Ya Allah, thank you for every time you kept me hidden. Thank you for every delay. Thank you for preparing me for this. Your time is coming. And when it arrives, you'll realize you never missed a thing. Just wait and trust on Allah.